Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Change, where we normalize podcasts, where we have powerful conversations to elevate your mind, help you build resilience, mental wellness, as well as emotional wellness. And we tap in with amazing guests on here that really help you to analyze and understand your purpose and your passion and how to live a life on purpose. Today is just me, y'all. Today is just me, no guest. It's just like the old days when I had season one where I literally recorded like 30 episodes by myself in my home office. Yes, I actually had my iPhone. I actually think it was this iPhone too. I had my iPhone, a little piece attached to this, and this was during the very beginning of the pandemic. And I remember being in the house. I remember everything kind of shutting down, all of my speaking engagements, everything kind of stopping. I'm like, man, I still need to get content out there. I still want to add value. And that's actually how this podcast was birthed, to be completely honest. It was birthed out of that, wanting to still add value. So I got the equipment. Well, it wasn't much equipment. It was just a mic connected to my phone. And then I found out that I can record a podcast and upload it on Anchor. So that's what I did. And I would sit in my office and I would literally have topics that I wanted to talk about. And I would just go in on them for like 30, 45 minutes by myself. So this is a little bit nostalgic in doing that because now we're in this studio space here at Rec Philly. And we've had some incredible guests. And I want to do a little mid-season recap, right? I want to do a mid-season recap and kind of touch on some of the guests that we've had stop by, that I've connected with. And also kind of let you guys know what's going on next for Change What We Normalize, what I have in the works, some of the plans we have here. So I want to jump right into it. Season 2, episode 1. So first, let me preface this. Season 1, I did 29 episodes. Let me be honest, 29. That's 30, pretty much. That's 30. I did 29 episodes. But season 2, I actually kicked it off because I said I wanted to have guests. So season 2, I started off with Robert Kenner. He actually wrote, let me see if it's on here. He wrote Nipsey Hussle's autobiography. And I believe it's called, The Marathon Don't Stop. Incredible book, by the way. If you haven't picked it up, grab that book. I believe it's everywhere that you can purchase books. And I reached out to Robert Kenner, not knowing him at all, right? Didn't know this guy at all. And I shot my shot. And this is the message for somebody that's watching. You're sitting back there doubting yourself and what you can do and who you can connect with, and you're not shooting your shot. I literally shot my shot. I shot him a DM. I had purchased this book. And after I purchased the book, I had took a picture of the book, right? Free game right here, y'all. I took a picture of the book and I tagged him in it. So obviously he's seen it. He reshared it, all these different things. And then I DM'd him and was like, yo, I love what you're doing. I love this content. I love your message, right? And I would love to have you as a guest on my podcast. And before I did that, let me go back a little bit. I actually did a little bit of research on him. So just in case, you know what I mean? Any questions pop up, I did do a little bit of research on my man, but he agreed, man, as my first actual guest on the Change What We Normalize podcast. He's doing incredible things, right? Very esteemed, and he has this autobiography that's doing incredible. And I reached out to him, he agreed, and we literally jumped on, I was using StreamYard at the time, where we jumped on a live stream, and we actually did his episode live for the first one. We did his episode live, we jumped on there, and we had this conversation about the book, about his start, about how he got into really like journalism and how he got into the media and how he actually knew Nipsey Hussle. Like the book goes in very grave detail about his life and background and his friends and how he had this incredible relationship with him for years. And we talked about that. We talked about mental health as a creator, which is a running theme for this show. And it was a dope conversation. And it really gave me like this confident boost to like, yo, just go out there. Like, who do you want on this thing? Reach out to them, right, and get them on here. I really had that confidence after that. And then after that, season 2, episode 2, I had my brother Tyrell Lewis, who is a multifaceted artist. Am I saying that right? I hope I'm saying that right. Don't kill me, y'all. But this brother does everything, man. A great friend of mine, one of my best friends. He's a playwright. He's an author. He paints. He does all types of incredible things. Anything art, he does it. A poet. I was actually in, and this is in my acting bag, I was actually in one of his stage plays that he produced. He wrote the whole thing, put it together. And he gave me my first acting job, and I got my first acting check from this guy, right? Got my first ever acting check from him. So I'm an actor, y'all got to add that to my resume. But I had Ty on for season 2. We talked about the release of his book, I Am a Man, which is this incredible book that speaks to men and, just our story, our pain, what we're going through, how we need to be heard, how we need to be seen and felt as men. So we jumped into that with him. Then the next episode, my brother, Daryl McGregory, his name was Big Head Daryl on IG. This was season 2, episode 3. This brother is incredible with comedy. So he's like a Christian comic. And he does these skits, man, that have me crying. When he was mimicking all of these different pastors, I'm talking Pastor Michael Todd, all of these different individuals, it had me rolling. Now, his story is interesting because he actually was around during the Vine days. How many of y'all remember Vine, right? Vine, the original, when it comes to these short videos and these different reels and things like that. He was actually a Vine, I guess influencer would be the word, a Vine influencer. And he was viral on there. He was doing incredible, but he realized some things with his mental health, with his spiritual health, where he had to step away from it, right? And really kind of recalibrate and then rebranded himself, put himself back out there. And now he's back to making content on IG and TikTok. So we had a great conversation about his journey, his spiritual walk, his mental health, life as a creator, as a comedian, as someone who creates videos, right? And just his journey, because if I'm not mistaken, he's also, and Daryl, don't kill me if you're listening to this, but I believe Daryl is also in the, I want to say he's in the Navy. Could be the Army. Please forgive me, Daryl, if you're watching this. But he's in the service. So doing both, right, and kind of having that conflicting battle, it was interesting to have that conversation with him. And then season 2, episode 4, I had my sister, Kristen Johnson, who is an elite fitness trainer. I'm talking elite. Homegirl done dropped over 100 pounds, really doing her thing and impacting women in the South Jersey area. And we had her on to talk about her journey, right? Growing through pain when she was that size, being divorced twice, right? And all of the insecurities that women battle with, how she was going through, suicidal ideations and all types of stuff. It was an extremely powerful episode, and I was blessed to really have her on. We went deep. She almost had me crying, y'all, on my own podcast. We was going through it deep. And then the next guest, season 2, episode 5, Valencia Peterson. I call her Coach V. If you're in the Philly area, you know her as Coach V as well. She runs an incredible program called ODAP, which is Open Door Abuse Awareness Prevention, right? Where they come in and they help these young men. She works with a lot of football teams, and she comes in and helps these young men understand abuse awareness, essentially, helping them with their mental and emotional wellness. And they really see her as like a mother figure. Like I went out there and she brought me out to speak to 3 of her football teams. And I remember how they were flocking to her and loving on her as a Black woman, right? And it was powerful to see the connection that she had with these young men on these football teams and these coaches. Like she's really making a difference in the impact. And shout out to her because she was actually at the Super Bowl this year. The Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, actually sponsored her to go out there because of the work that she does and how it's impacting, the different communities within Philly and the different schools that she's working with. And her work just continues to grow. I plan on doing more with her. She's an incredible, incredible woman, and just blessed to have cross paths with her. And then on season 2, episode 6, I had my brother Les Squire Jr. He's actually been in the studio with me a few times, being here at Rec Philly. But Les is my guy, my brother. His son is my godson. He has amazing, beautiful children, beautiful wife, beautiful family. We're all like this. And we talked about his brand, Never Quit. He does branding for big agencies and big businesses and actually small businesses too. And we kind of talked about branding, but we went more into his life as a father, as a young father, right? I'm 32, Les is 32. We're same age, 32 and 32. And we talked about that. We talked about healing as a grown man, right? The tough conversations he had to have with his father before he can actually level up in regards to being a man. And it was extremely powerful to chop it up with him. Next episode, season 2, episode 7, I had my guy, Kev Decor. Shout out to Kev, bro. Kev is out in Cali doing this thing. He's a Jersey native, just another multifaceted artist. This dude, literally, if you look at his content, the way that this guy produces music, I remember he went on this tear one year where he produced a song every day for a year. Now, I'm not talking a song every week or every month. I'm talking literally every day for a year, Kev was putting out content. I was like, bro, how are you doing this? And I remember how locked in he was. It was so hard to get a hold of him then. But he was locked in on his mission, and he's still creating content and music now. I remember he would do these things called basement shows, right? Where he would literally have a basement in someone's house and literally have this thing packed out like a concert. I'm talking flyers. I'm talking the DJ equipment set up, and he would go all in, bro. I've never seen nobody go so hard, right, on what they believed. And he truly believed, and he still does, and he's out in Cali now. He decided to change coast to really change his atmosphere, but he's out there still creating music and amazing content. Y'all need to follow that brother because he drops games for creatives, for music artists, and really how to get in the game and get your art seen. So definitely make sure y'all tap in with that episode. That's season 2, episode 7 with my brother Kev Decor. Now, season 2, episode 8, my guy Antoine DJ Johnson. That's my brother right there. Interesting enough, I call him my brother and we're super connected, but we've never met in person, which is kind of wild, right? He lives in Cali, but we've connected via different communities that we're in for personal development. And the work that he's doing for parents, man, the work that he's doing for parents and really pouring into them, which is really adding value to their household, right? Which is really changing the entire community as he's pouring into parents. It's unbelievable the work he's doing and the perspective that he has on raising children, right? And it's extremely powerful. I see how he raises his son, and I see the ripple effects of the impact that he has when he goes out and he does this program. So we had a whole talk about parents and purposeful parenting, and it was deep because I'm not a parent yet. I work with a lot of teens, a lot of young adults, and I don't necessarily see them as my children, even though they are younger than me, but I see myself as a mentor to them. So a lot of information I get, a lot of insight I get is from DJ. He gives me a whole bunch of game, man, on how to do this thing, and it's been super impactful and effective, the things that he shared with me. So I apply all of them. And he's just been a super, super important person in my life and a guy. So when I do have children, I'll know some of the right things to do. Now, there's never a perfect way to do anything, but I believe that just some of the gems he shared with me, the way he exemplifies, certain things with his son, with his family, I can literally take those things and apply them to how I'm going to raise my future children. So that's my brother, man. Thank you for that, DJ, for real. And then this is where things transition, because this is when we get in a space called Rec Philly, was season 2, episode 9, and I had my sis on, Brenda Phillips. Brenda is super dope. She works with the youth. She's a speaker. She has this incredible brand called Be Inspired. I have some of the merch from them. And she's also a poet. Like this, she's a nonprofit owner. She does so many incredible things. But I had her on, and she was my first in-person guest. And we came here. We were in one of the music studios, actually. We weren't even in the podcast studio. We were in one of the music studios. And I had Brenda come in, and we just tapped into this whole deep conversation about our lives, our backgrounds, and how we got to where we were, and almost like how we weren't even supposed to be here, and how it almost happened on accident, even though we know it's purpose, right? We know God has a plan for us, is laid out for us. But she talks about her journey, the different abuses that she went through, how it developed her mind, who she became, what she had to go through, what she had to let go, and how she got to a place where she's serving young girls and adding value to them and being a role model for them. Extremely powerful. And then after that, we kicked off season 2, episode 10 with my guy, Luis Marrero. If y'all know him, anybody out here, if y'all know him, he is the founder of Voices in Power. It's interesting enough because Voices in Power is how I found this space called Rec Philly. He invited me out to speak one evening, and he was like, yo, we want to do something a little different because it's usually poets and music artists. He was like, yo, I want you to come out and for like 5 or 10 minutes, just give a motivational message. I was like, all right. And he invited me, and we got to this place. I'm like, this place is dope. So I spoke. Short story, right after that, I ended up meeting Will Thomas, who's a co-founder of this space, and connected with him. We ended up having lunch. I ended up coming back, and I'm like, I need to be in this space. But if it wasn't for Lewis, I would have had no idea that this space existed, right? I believe everything happens for a reason. He invited me out that night, and I was exposed to this atmosphere. I was exposed to the community, and I was like, I need to be here. And here we are recording. So shout out to Lewis for that. But we had a dope conversation about his upbringing, his life as a father, as a creative, the concept behind Voices in Power and how that came about. Super powerful conversation. And season 2, episode 11, we did Purpose Through Pain, and we had my guy, Who Am I? Right? My guy, Chad, Who Am I? And his name alone, his artist name speaks volume. Who am I? Right? The world's going to try to tell me who I am, but who am I really? And we went on a very just deep introspective conversation about his art, his music. I actually met him years ago in Atlantic City at a bar he was performing at. He knew some people, we had mutual friends, and we just kind of reconnected. Ended up going to the same university, and I didn't even know it. Went to Rowan University, and he's doing incredible things with his art. He's already working within the music industry, and he's doing this dope kind of like concept art where it's called like self-care. I believe it was called Self-Care Sundays or something like that, where he's dropping these different songs speaking on self-care and just areas he's healed from and how he's gotten through it, which is dope. I love when art has like real purpose behind it that can really impact and inspire somebody. So, yo, shout out to you. Who am I? The name alone is just hard. Seriously. And then our latest episode, season 2, episode 12, which is actually out now, and then we have another one right after that, was with the co-founder, Will Toms. And Will really just came in here and added immense value. And my main takeaway was that he talked a lot about teamwork and success being a team sport, right? We always know, or we know the boss mentality, right? Self-made mentality. I'm going to get it on my own. YOLO, all these different things where it's like, yo, it's so solo, right? But the reality is success is a team sport. And he dropped so much wisdom on that episode about his life, about how he got to where he was, right? About how he created this community with his partners and how that was all based around this being a team sport, this being a community, and the importance of having a community and nurturing that community. And then we have season 2, episode 13, which is the last one up until this mid-season kind of review, which was with Visionary the Poet, who prior to that episode had a poem go viral. I'm talking like viral, like 1 million views viral. And the poem was fire. And you know what I loved most about the poem that went viral? One, that it was raw, but also that it was flawed in a few different ways. Like, she actually stumbled over her words a few different times. The music wasn't perfect. She had to go back, yo, DJ, I need you to turn it down a little bit, da-da-da. And just that transparency, that rawness, that realness, I believe that's what attracted so many people to view that thing. And she's a star, man. She came in here and blessed my whole crew with her wisdom, with her presence, and she's literally a star on the rise. And we were blessed to have her on the podcast. So that's just a little recap of season 2. What's going on with the Change What We Normalize podcast. Right now, we are gearing up to bring on several more powerful and impactful guests. Most of them members here at Rec Philly. That's the dope part about being in this space, is that I literally just walk around and connect with people, dope people who are doing incredible things, and I want to give them a platform to share their stories. I think that it's important for more of us to share our stories, right? For me, I speak in schools all the time. I'm always, speaking to schools and speaking to students and teachers and educators and staff members. I'm dropping these messages, but the reality is I'm going there to share my story. The power in that is when I share my story, it encourages somebody else to share their story, right? Only but so many people can relate to my story. But if I encourage you to share yours and you encourage somebody else to share theirs, just imagine how many people we can impact. So I'm looking forward to bringing on more guests. I have some special guests coming up soon, some special announcement. My guy Mike gave me this dope idea that I'm thinking about sharing with y'all, but I don't know if I'm going to share it with y'all. But just know when I share this with y'all, I need y'all to be in the building because it's going to be fire. It's going to be great conversations, great vibes, great energy, and you will not want to miss that. So, with that being said, that is the season 2 recap. My name is Nate. I am your host, your lovely host. Look, man, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure that you share this with a friend, with a loved one. Also, I want to share this with you. I have a text community, an inspirational text community. And guess what? It's for free. All you have to do is text inspiration to 609-354-5810. Again, 609-354-5810. Text inspiration. And what I do is it's personal messages from me. And, maybe 5 days, 6 days out of the week, I'm sharing insights, inspiration, thoughts, just to encourage you and empower you throughout your day. That's all it is. So make sure y'all tap in with that. Oh, and as always, I can't end the episode without dropping my quote because I always have my guests bring quotes. So for me, I have my quote right here. I actually got this quote from Miles Davis. I love Miles Davis. I love the art and the music that he's created and put out into the world. It's extremely powerful. I'm an old soul at heart, as y'all can see. But he said this this quote one time, and it spoke volumes to me and to who I am and who I'm becoming. He said, "It took me years to learn how to play like myself." That's the quote. I'm going to say it again. Hold on, because I feel like y'all missed that. He said, "It took me years to learn how to play like myself." Right? We live in a time where there's so much going on, right? Especially with social media. And I see so many individuals trying to be a carbon copy of somebody else. Even in this podcast space, I listen to podcasts all the time. And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't difficult to not try to sound like someone else on another podcast that I like. But I had to find my own voice. I was actually blessed to do that, a couple of years ago, because I'm a speaker, I'm an orator. I travel and I speak and I share messages and I talk about mental health and emotional wellness. I ended up finding my voice years ago. And when I found that voice, when I found out who I really was, I stayed in that pocket and I'm still there. But again, there's so much noise, there's so much comparison, there's so many different things going on. So I want you to ask yourself, right? Do you know how to play like yourself? It's so easy to play like somebody else. There's so many other individuals doing what you're doing, right? But they're not doing it how you would do it. And I want you to hold on to that. They won't do it how you'll do it. So play like yourself, right? Miles Davis said it took him years to learn how to play like himself. It might take you years, but at some point, you'll start playing like yourself. You'll have your own style, right? And you'll add value in a way that only you can add value. So I want y'all to hold on to that. Again, make sure y'all subscribe, share, leave a review. Oh, and always, quick prayer before I close this mid-season review out. Look, let's jump into it. Father God, we thank you for this opportunity to make an impact over this platform, to pour into the lives of so many different individuals. We're talking hundreds now. We're believing in thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands until we reach millions, Lord. And we're going to continue to elevate and grow this platform with excellence, adding as much value as possible. We're going to do our best to get out of the way and let you move in the spirit and use us. And I'm just thankful that you use me as a vessel to get a powerful message across and impact the lives of so many other individuals. I thank you for using me. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I love you. In Jesus' name, amen. And that is another episode of Change What We Normalize. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one.